The city of Allensworth had always been noisy, filled with the sound of hurried footsteps, rumbling buses, and endless chatter. But for Daniel, life often felt muted, like he was walking through a world that moved too quickly for him to catch. He worked as a graphic designer, often spending his nights staring at glowing screens, drawing shapes that felt lifeless. Love to him was just another abstract word, something written in books, sung in songs, but never truly lived. That was until he met Elena. She wasn't extraordinary in the way movies paint their heroines. She wasn't the loudest voice in the room, or the one wearing the brightest colors. Elena's presence was softer, like the hush of wind on a warm evening. She had a quiet laugh, the kind that pulled at Daniel's chest, making him listen closer, afraid he might miss it. They met at a bookstore one rainy afternoon when both reached for the same worn-out copy of Wuthering Heights. Their hands touched. Elena smiled first. "You can have it," she said. "No, please, you should take it," Daniel replied. And somehow, that single moment bloomed into countless others. Coffee turned into late-night walks. Conversations about favorite authors turned into secrets shared under dimly lit street lamps. Daniel, who once believed love was just a word, began to understand that love was 1,000 little details. The way Elena tucked her hair behind her ear, how her eyes brightened when she spoke about art, the silence they could share without it feeling empty. But love, as Daniel discovered, is rarely simple. Elena carried scars that weren't visible. She had once loved deeply, only to be betrayed. And though she tried to hide it, her fear of being hurt again hovered in the spaces between their laughter. Sometimes Daniel noticed the way her voice trembled when she promised forever, or how she avoided his gaze when he spoke of futures. And Daniel himself battled with doubts. Was he enough to heal someone so fragile, or would his love break under the weight of her past? One evening, as they stood on the rooftop of Daniel's apartment, the city stretched below them like an ocean of lights. Elena's voice was soft when she asked, "Do you believe love lasts, Daniel? Or is it just something we tell ourselves to feel less alone?" Daniel took her hand, his thumb brushing against her palm. "I don't know if love lasts forever," he admitted, "but I know it lasts as long as we choose it to. And tonight, I choose you." Tears welled in her eyes. But they weren't tears of sorrow. For the first time in years, Elena felt the walls around her begin to crumble. She leaned into him, and under the stars their lips met. It wasn't just a kiss, it was a promise. Fragile yet powerful. Days turned into months. Their love was not perfect. They argued about little things, about Daniel's tendency to overwork, about Elena's hesitance to move in together. But every argument ended the same way, with quiet apologies, with arms that refused to let go, with the realization that love wasn't about avoiding conflict, but about fighting to return to each other every time. And so Daniel learned that love was not the fireworks people always described. It wasn't about dramatic gestures or grand speeches. It was in the details, the way Elena's laughter filled the silence of his apartment, the way she left sticky notes on his desk reminding him to eat, the way her presence made the world feel less sharp, less lonely. For Elena, love became the courage to believe again. She found in Daniel a safe place, a heart that didn't demand perfection, but cherished her scars. With him, she realized that love wasn't about erasing the past, but about writing new chapters strong enough to outshine old ones. And so, in a world full of people rushing past each other, two souls chose to stop, to see, to hold on. Their love story was not legendary, not one sung in songs or written in history books, but to Daniel and Elena, it was everything. Because love, they discovered, was never just a word. It was a life shared, 1,000 quiet moments stitched together, and the choice, every day, to stay.